have a Tony Blair fan. That's okay. I got a Republican uncle. He's married in it's awkward around the holidays. Reagan was God. I'm like, what? Shut up. I think I may end on this piece or try to do another new one. This is called Only Is Equals. Yeah, well, I'm Palestinian. I'm an activist and all that other fun stuff. And so I'm active with the U.S. campaign for the academic and cultural boycott of Israel. And you know, people always ask me like, what can we do? And we can act. You know, I mean that's part of art, but that's part of local activism. That's part of things that we can do on a daily basis. And you know, the Palestinian people have called for it, and you know, freedom doesn't. You know, the Martin Luther King quote in the previous poem. It just doesn't get attained. And you know, like South Africa, I was talking with a journalist and a friend before last holiday, and he was saying, you know, as we were fighting against apartheid, if you asked me on the eve of the fall of apartheid if I had any clue whatsoever that it was going to happen, he said absolutely not. But we just kept working and working and working and working. So it's nice to see more recognition of Palestinian art and voices and you know, voices for freedom. So this is called Only Is Equals. Is that mine? Oh, cooties. Do you have cooties in the UK? I mean, not you personally, but like. I'm stupid. Thank you. Every time I think of 9/11, I see burning flesh stripping off the bones of Iraqi children in Fallujah, now Gaza. I tend to memorialize the forgotten, the eclipsing collateral damage of our unpunished crimes, and maybe it's because I'm a numbers guy. Because if I had $1 for every time an Iraqi died since 2003, I'd be a millionaire. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I don't know who to hate more, the governments in the West or the politicians in the East who sell their souls quicker than the oil they export, strong men who use Palestine as a tool to line their pockets and don't give a nickel to their people. Quisling governments who stitch mouths shut for a check from Washington and AIPAC. How can you be their prototypical anti-Semite if you're signing peace accords to oppress your own people? And then Orientalists and idiots want to talk about how we can have democracy in the Middle East because of what happened in Gaza. A Hamas boogeyman wrapped in democratic elections. Rahm Emanuel wants to educate me and my people about democracy gone wrong. Why doesn't he try implementing one in Israel first, instead of bowing down to terrorists like his father in the IDF, lauding a third-rate racist European society that's imploding quicker than its moral standing in the world? Enlightened, like 1950s Afrikaners and slave traders. Just because a house is beautiful doesn't mean the bones you built it on have fully decomposed. The Israeli left is about as alive as Ariel Sharon. I'm sick and tired of asking for permission to resist from antiquated leftists and progressives who care more about keeping it kosher than moving things forward. I put down my pen and waving fist to resist with college kids and Palestinians, boycott and divest. Because honestly, who cares about preserving a living when governments are killing civilians? Complicity by silence and reserve units bombing Gaza. Your academics and scholars, theater groups and practitioners are part of the problem. And if logic doesn't fit into your long-term plan of rejecting my right to return, I'm sorry. Maybe one day you'll return to reality where my people have babies quicker than Zionists can concoct Jordanian options. I'm not looking for your sympathy. I'm not looking for your sympathy. Or your introspective confessions. Won't sit on my hands until they lose oxygen like the people in Balad and Rafah. Vote for Barack Obama and pretend that his 22 days of silence was golden, while emaciated children starve to death surrounded by their parents' corpses. This can't be America the Beautiful. A criminal with a few positive attributes doesn't alleviate genocide. Bombing Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iraq, it doesn't make you historic. It makes you as blind and bloodthirsty as the white men that came before you. Apathetic hipsters, now excited about a president who broke history but not poverty, occupation, or corporate interests. I'd rather proudly walk through the graveyards of peace accords and failed dialogue sessions, then keep seeing my people just as occupied or third-class citizen. We're the gavel that'll slam down like a verdict. We're not waiting for Israel, America, the Supreme Court to approve it. We'll boycott Ahava, Lev Leviathan, and your apartheid companies. We're taking back the right of return and keys to a country, because I never asked you to go back to Europe or sit in open-air prisons. I'm not asking for advice. I'm explaining the decision. You can stay here with us, but only as equals. It's not that you're Israeli. It's that you're wrong. That's why I fight for my people. So we'll have, I guess, like a kind of like informal-ish book signing outside. And like I said, pick up a program. Try to get... go see Sue Hamad and Tashwish on Friday, or I will get lost and find you in London and make you buy tickets. And also check out a lot of the other great events. There's some fantastic posts coming. And thank you guys for coming out.